Alaikum. Alright, in this video I'm going to teach on the mean value theorem for integral. If last time we have seen the mean value theorem for differentiation, so for integration we also have the mean value theorem. So the theorem states that, right, so suppose we have a function fx is continuous on the AB. Suppose we have this function which is fx here, which is continuous on the interval AB. Then there is a c, right? There must exist a number c between that interval within the interval AB such that it satisfies this formula. So we have to use this formula to find the value of c, right? So what does it mean by this formula? So we should know that for an integration, all right, actually the meaning of an integration is area under the curve, all right? So when you have the area under the curve, you divide with the difference between the endpoints of the interval. Like in this case, you divide the integration of fx with b minus a. So you will get an average number. So the average number is actually the fc. So like for example, suppose we have this, right? So if we have this area, right? So suppose I move this part here, all right, will be the same, quite similar there. And then if we have the area which is given by this section here, all right, so we have this part. So if we divide that area with b minus a, we'll get a number which is here. So that number is actually fc. All right, so that's the meaning of of the mean value theorem for integration. All right, so we should note that we have the formula where fc equal to 1 minus b minus 1 over b minus a integration of ab to fx dx, and we can actually move this b minus a to this side, so we'll have something like fc multiplied with b minus a, we'll get the integration of the fx dx over ab. All right, so we can rewrite this formula. Suppose we have, like for example, okay, we have like integration of fx dx. This is actually equal to the fc b minus a. It's just similar way. All right, so they are all the same. So we can use this formula to find the value of fc, of the value of c. All right, what does number of c here? That takes the average of that area. All right, so let's take the example 1. Suppose we have the fx equal to 3x squared plus 2x is continuous on the interval 1, 5. So we want to find c using the mean value theorem for integrals. So what we need to do first is actually to determine the interval, right, in the first place. All right, so our step number 1, we know that a is equal to 1 and b is equal to 5. All right, so now what we need to do is to find the difference, all right, between a and b. So b minus a is actually 5 minus 1 is actually 4, right? Because we need to use the difference of b minus a into the formula. All right, so next one, step number 2, what we need to do is actually to find the fc. All right, so we have the function fx equal to 3x squared plus 2x. Because in the formula we have to use the fc, so we substitute the value of x with c. So the variable x will be substituted with c, so we'll have something like 3c squared plus 2c. All right, so step number 3 is to find the integration. All right, because we have to use the, all right, something like this. Let me write the formula. We have the formula that fc is b minus a, or I can use the formula of the integration ab fx dx. So we'll have something like fc of b minus a. Right, so this part we already have it here, and then fc we already have it here. Okay, so next part is to find the integration of this fx dx over interval ab. In this case, the ab is actually 1 to 5. So we want to find the integration of fx dx over that interval. So it will be something like 1 to 5. The function is actually given by 3x squared plus 2x. So we note that it is with respect to x, so we integrate this. So when we integrate this, this is actually the definite integral. We have something like 3x to the power of 3 over 3 plus 2x to the power of 2 over 2. We don't have plus c because we have the values that we need to substitute into the value of x. And we know that we can simplify this 3 with 3, 2 with 2. So we'll have something like, all right, x to the power of 3 plus x squared. So this is over interval 1 to 5. So firstly, we need to substitute the value with 5, all right, so 5 squared, and then we have to subtract the value will be substituted with 1, all right, so 1 squared. So using your calculator, all right, you can actually calculate this, all right, 5 cubed plus 5 squared minus 2 actually, right, so you'll get 148 is the number. All right, so having all these, all right, now we are going to find the value of c using the fundamental theorem of the mean value theorem of the integral. So step number 4 is to use this formula. So we should firstly write the formula. Let me just write it again, all right, so that we can memorize it. All right, so fc of b minus a. Alright, so this value we already have obtained in this here. Alright, we're given by 148. So I'll just substitute 148 there. So FC is given by this. Alright, so I'll just write 3c squared plus 2c. And we have b minus a, right, this one part here. And b minus a is given by 4. So we have to multiply with 4. All right, something like this. So now the intention is to find the value of c. So we have to move the 4 to the left side. So we have to divide the 4. So it will be something like 148 divided by 4 is given by 3c squared plus 2c. All right, so that 148 divided by 4 will give us 37. All right, so 37 is actually 3c squared plus 2c. All right, so rearrange this. I'll get 3c squared plus 2c minus 37 equal to 0. Why do I need to write in this form? Because we have to use the formula to find the value of c, where the value of c is given by, all right, negative b negative 2 plus minus square root of b squared minus 2a. So in this case, 2 squared minus, all right, b squared minus 4ac, ac 3, and then we'll have negative 37, all right, 4ac over 2a, 2 multiplied by 3. So we can actually utilize our calculators to find the value for c. All right, so in this case, we insert the value of a is 3, the value of b is 2, and the value of c is negative 37. So I'll get c is given by 3.1943. Another one, c is given by negative 3.8610. all right, so the question is, are these two values within the interval? All right, so we should check that the interval is actually 1 to 5. So which values is actually between 1 to 5 is of course this value only. All right, so we have to conclude that the value of c is therefore 3.1943 because it is within the interval 1 to 5. All right, so very simple. All right, so the key point is actually to use the formula given by the mean value theorem for integral. All right, let's look at the example number 2. We have the function of x equal to 1 over x to the power 4, which is continuous inside this interval. So this is the interval. So step number 1, to determine the value of a is 1 and the value of b is 2. All right, so next is to find the b minus a is given by 2 minus 1, we'll get 1. All right, so for step number 2 is to actually find the, what do we call it, fc. So fx is given by 1 over x to the power of 4. Of course, fc will be 1 over c to the power of 4. We just substitute the variables x with c. All right, so for step number 3, we have to find the value for the integration. All right, so in this case, we want to find from 1 to 2 of fx dx. All right, so in this case, the function is given by x to the power of 4. So it will be something like integration from 1 to 2 of that x to the power negative 4 dx. So integrating this will give us, all right, so we'll get x to the power negative 3 over negative 3 from 1 to 2. And this can be simplified as negative of 1 over 3 x cubed from 1 to 2. So next is to substitute the value of what do we call it as the x with 2 and 1. So next we are going, alright, so for simplification, we'll just take that negative outside because it is not involved in the calculations or something like this. Alright, so we substitute the value of x with 2 and 1, so I'll have something like negative, put outside, so 2 to the power of 3 minus 1 over 3 to the power of 1 to the power of 3, something like this. So pressing your calculator, you'll get that negative of 7 over 24 inside the bracket. So simplifying this, you'll get positive 7 over 24 because negative multiplied with negative, you'll get positive. Alright, so for step number 3, you are done. So final step is to use the mean value theorem formula. Alright, so the formula is given by the, alright, step number 4. We just write the formula. You can actually use this formula from a to b of fx dx, which is given by fcb minus a. Alright, so I'll just insert the value for the integration. It's actually given by these values, 7 over 24 from step number 3. So just put it inside this. Alright, 7 over 24. This is equal to fc is actually, alright, given by this function. Right, so now we'll have 1 over c to the power of 4, and then that b minus 1 is actually given by 1. So I'll just write 1, right? Just write 1. Right, so we have to simplify the value of c to the power of 4. So actually you can rewrite this c to the power of 4 is given by, alright, so you do the cross multiplication, I guess. Alright, so 24 over 7. So to find the value of c, so please take note that the power is now an even number, so it should be a plus minus to find a 24 over 7 to the power, the, what do you call it? All right, we want to remove the power 4 then. All right, so we have to take this root 4. All right, so 24 over 7. So pressing our calculator, so be careful when you press your calculator that you have to know where to insert the root 4 there. All right, so please don't forget that plus minus because this is the even number for the power. All right, so the value is given by, all right, so c is actually given by plus minus 1.3607. all right, so this is the value. All right, so we need to check that our interval now is given by 1 to 2. So which values within that interval, because we are going to find c within that interval. So we need to make a conclusion that the value of c is actually given by that positive of 1.3607 only. Right, because it is within the interval 1 to 2. Why don't we take that negative value? Because it is outside this interval. All right, so that's basically finding c using the mean value theorem of integral. And let's look at the last example, example number 3 here. Suppose we have a straight line here. If fx is continuous on this interval, so again we just repeat the same procedure. For step number 1, we just choose a is equal to 0, b is equal to 4 in this case, and b minus a is actually 4 minus 0, you will get 4. Alright, so now we are going to find the fc. Alright, so fx is given by 2x plus 7. So of course fc is actually 2c plus 7. Alright, very simple. Okay, so step number 3, we have that the integral. Alright, so we need to find the integral from 0 to 4 of the fx dx. Alright, so in this case, we'll have to find the integral of the 2x plus 7 over the interval from 0 to 4. Okay, dx. Okay, so now we have to integrate this. So integrating this will give us 2x squared over 2 plus 7x. We need to substitute the value from 0 to 4, and we have to simplify this as, okay, we have the x squared plus 7x. Alright, so this is given by from 0 to 4. So next step is to substitute the value of x with 4 squared plus 7 multiplied by 4 minus actually 0. When we substitute everything with x with 0, we'll get 0. So we have 4 squared plus 7 multiplied by 4. We'll get the value is actually given by 44. Alright, so that integral is actually given by 44. So final step is to utilize the formula for the mean value theorem for integral. So step number 4 is to use the formula is actually given by integral of fx dx over ab. So it is given by fc multiplied by b minus a. Alright, so you just insert the values where the integral is given by this value, which is 44. So I'll get 44 here. This is equal to that fc is actually given by this function now, so 2c plus 7. So get 2c plus 7, please put in the bracket because we have that b minus a. All right, so that b minus a is actually given by this difference here. All right, so which is 4. We have to multiply by 4. So next step is to find the value of c, is to move that 4 to the left side. We'll get 44 over 4. So this is actually given by 2c plus 7, or we can simplify 2c plus 7 is equal to 11. So finding c is very easy in this case because it is a linear equation. So 2c equal to 11 minus 7. So 2c is actually equal to 4 and c is equal to 4 divided by 2. We'll get 2. Alright, so we don't have any negative values here. Alright, so we know that 2 is within this interval. So yes, our c is actually given by 2. Why? Because it is within the interval 0 to 4. As the question asks us to find the value of c within the interval, so that's the value of c. Alright, so that's basically the mean value theorem for integrals. Very easy. So it's just that you have to utilize the formula given in the theorem. So thank you for watching.